Hey, James here, just checking in on everybody. We did not record an episode this past weekend. All three of us ended up out of town, and we couldn't make it happen. So we're releasing a Patreon episode we recorded about a month ago. It's just got me and Zach on it, and we're having kind of like an old school argument, I would say. So if you like podcast arguments, this is probably the episode for you. All in good fun, of course. But yeah, we will be back. This is just a Patreon preview. If you're not a Patreon supporter, this is generally what you get with the after shows for the most part. A lot of silliness that's not necessarily tied to a specific time and place. So yeah, check out this episode. If you like what you see, support on Patreon or don't, whatever you want to do. Regardless, we'll be back next week talking Disclosure Day. So if you need some homework, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. That's it. Enjoy.
What's up, party people? This is the after show for episode 721. Kyle is no longer with us because
it's sad to
he
see
has it really was. We're joking about this, but really we probably shouldn't. Yeah, we're not going to say why he's not going to be here, but he's not going to be here. He's not here now. He's not going to be here next week. I'm turning this into a mystery when it really doesn't have to be. Zach, what's going on? What are we doing here?
So I thought that this would be fun. I try to save AI stuff to the Patreon, because it gets talked about enough in our culture. But
sure.
It's always fun to mess around with it, whatever. What I did is I put all of my ratings of all the movies I've seen, and now all of your ratings into an LLM, and I asked it to give me insights into you as a movie watcher.
Okay.
And I'm now going to read these to you, and I want to get your hot takes on if it nailed you or misunderstands you.
Okay.
And it's going to compare us a little bit more than I wanted it to, but you can also speak to that if you want. Okay.
Is it going to compare us because it had a memory of what?
Yeah.
Of you doing this to your own?
Right.
Okay. I mean, you can tell it to completely ignore that if you want.
I could, for sure. I just haven't done that.
Okay.
So,
right.
And rather than reprompt it, I'm just going to roll with it. Okay.
Sure. Save the water.
Okay. So save the water. So you, I just want your hot takes on pretty much every sentence that comes out of my mouth.
Okay. I'm ready.
So this goes. Okay. It says James is a very different moviegoer than I am. And he's watched nearly 5,000 films, which is 1,800 more than I have. Did you know it was that much more?
I mean, I could have done back of the napkin math and figured that out, but sure.
It's a lot of movies. 1,800.
Yeah, but I also have 6 years on you.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 42.
Yeah, I'm 48, so 6 years.
Okay. Yeah.
But still, 6 years, 1,800 movies. I'm outpacing you.
How many movies do you watch a year?
Roughly. Well, I mean, lately it's been like 200, but there were years where I was close to 300.
So let's say 250.
Maybe.
So 6 years is 1,500 movies. So you might just be 300 movies up on me.
Over the course of the next, how many years? 8 years?
No, just like over the next
years?
6 years. Like 6 years ago, you might have watched, only 300 movies more than where I am at right now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I could see that. But I don't see your fortunes changing too much because you have other obligations that aren't going away in the next 6 years. In fact, they might even be more intense in the next 6 years. So,
all right.
Although once they start going to school, I find it.
No. This is the first year he's in kindergarten. So really things have opened up quite a bit already. And I think it'll only continue.
Once they're gone for like 8 hours a day, it's going to be.
You are a harsher rater than me. Your average rating is 3.07 and mine is 3.28.
Well, my average is right in the middle of the scale, whereas yours is not. So
yours is not right in the middle of the scale. Middle of the scale would be 2.5. Your average is 3.07.
No. I'm saying when I judge a movie, 2.5 is the middle.
Well, that's not true though. You think that that's true.
No,
But,
it is true. I just watch more movies that I like than movies that I don't like.
Um,
I watch more movies that I think are above average than movies I think are below average.
possibly. That's possibly true. Possibly true.
100%. That's how I think about it when I rate
Uh,
a movie.
Sure. I gotcha. Then in that case, you barely watch more movies that you think are above average. You watch a
Sure.
whole lot of movies you consider below average.
I watch a whole lot of movies. I also think that, at least for me, if I'm going to think my scale is worth anything, I need to watch movies that I don't like. Because how do you know what you like if you never see something you don't like?
Yeah, but does it really have to be 60-40 or 45-55 percentage wise in order to understand that? Like, can't you know what you don't like by 15% watching
Mm,
movies that you don't like?
maybe. And I think I'm curious to know if the AI can tell this. Has that changed over time? Because I think that those years that I got closer to 300, there were way more movies. This is anecdotal. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like this is true. Is that I watched more movies that I disliked in those years. And I've gotten better at like the ones that never had a shot with me are less likely to be watched. Whereas ones that are a 50-50 toss up, I gave them a shot and I either liked it or I didn't. Though I should say that's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
Is like I was never gonna like Smurfs 2. I hated Smurfs 1. So the completionist in me is like, I have to watch Smurfs 2, and maybe it's good. Maybe they saved it from Smurfs 1. That's like 2010s James.
Yeah.
2020s James is like, I hated Smurfs 1, Smurfs 2, based on the Rotten Tomatoes score. More of the same. I don't need to watch Smurfs 2.
Sure.
That's what I feel like I'm doing, but maybe the AI says different.
It does say you're a little bit all over the map, but he says you're watching fewer bad movies and you become more generous at the top over time.
Okay.
You started as a tough grader that watched everything indiscriminately, and gradually you've been a little bit more curated, a little bit more generous with your scoring.
I mean, which would naturally happen if I stopped watching a bunch of bad movies that I knew were bad before I hit play.
Okay. It says James
sense.
at his core is a genre guy, which
that makes
I think
sense.
is no secret to anyone, right?
If you look at my top 100, it's mostly genre movies.
Totally. And it lists off a whole bunch of them. Horror alone accounts for 16 of his 129 5-star ratings.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Well, just because there's
That's like less than 10%.
But there's like 25 genre, you know what I mean? Like of major genres, like Western and romance and sci-fi and, comedy and
10%. If you looked at like your average male Zennial, right?
Yeah.
10% is normal, if not low, when it comes to horror movies. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. For your action movies, you like movies that are very kinetic. You like your action movies very kinetic, where the camera feels like it's in motion, where the action is more tactile and physical.
Okay, Captain Obvious. Isn't that what everybody likes about action movies? Come on. What are we talking about here? This is not unique to me. That's what everybody likes about action movies.
All right. So it feels a little generic,
Come on. What is it? Come on.
It says you worship at the Church of Cool. Is that true, James?
I don't even I didn't even like Umbrella of Cherbourg.
No. Here's what it says. The single biggest divergence between you and me is that you give 5 stars to movies like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill Volume 1, and Fargo. Your Tarantino average is 4.33, and mine is 3.17. you
So
love
that
old country.
means I bow down at the altar of cool, or whatever you said.
No, here's what it means. Like, it lists a bunch of movies like No Country for Old Men, Apocalypse Now, Boogie Nights, The Master, things like this. Films that define serious, aesthetically commanding, tonally controlled cinema that you really like.
Yeah, I like masterpieces. Sue me.
That's what I'm saying. And all of these movies I didn't like nearly as much as you.
Uh-huh.
And it's saying like
that's why it's picking them out.
Yeah, no. It's saying like these are all movies that kind of most people agree on are really great movies and like a cool choice to pick as like your top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like Pulp Fiction and Fargo and No Country for Old Men, right? Like you're on this like right side of the crest, basically. Let's see. Okay, you're not just a cold cinema guy. You know, like those are all kind of like a little bit colder films, right? Like unemotional, like
Sure.
stoic kind of cool man things. You have a sentimental streak about you.
This is
You like
true.
The Notebook. You like Titanic. You like Atonement. You like La La Land. You like Coda.
I have
like
3
Waves.
sisters. Yes.
Every
I'm not a
single
sports
romance
guy up until recently.
Yeah. Your romance movies are almost entirely 4.5 and 5-star movies.
Yeah, because I don't watch any of the bad ones.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I will roll the dice on a sci-fi action superhero movie.
Yeah.
But I am not rolling the dice on a romance movie. It better be good, or else I'm not even hitting play.
It says your documentary taste is impeccable.
Oh, okay.
And runs hot.
I like this prompt.
If a documentary connects with you, it goes straight to the top for you.
Is that a good thing? I don't know about that.
You're more generous with documentaries than your baseline, it says.
Yeah, I only watch the good ones. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you watched a documentary you didn't hear anything about?
Sometimes I'll just see something on Netflix and I haven't heard anything about it. It's just on Netflix.
Really? You'll just randomly press play on anything?
Yeah, it just whatever is like on the top 10 that week or whatever, you know, just shows up.
Not saying I've never done that. It's not something I normally do though. I have to hear somebody say it's good, even if I don't care about that person's opinion at all. At least one person has to say it.
Yeah.
For me to hit play.
Your lowest star list movies, are, unlike mine, it says are generally like contrarian picks, like movies that other people really like, and I just don't. It says yours are mostly lazy studio products.
It says the word lazy?
Yeah, it calls them lazy studio products. So it says that.
What kind of a film snob are you generating over there, Zach?
No. What do you mean?
My favorite movies are lazy studio projects?
No, it says your least favorite. Your 0.5
least
star.
favorite. I thought you meant
no,
favorite.
James.
I was like,
no, James.
You're calling Fight Club lazy?
No, your 0.5s. Right. It says it's saying my 0.5s are usually like contrarian picks. They're movies that other people like and I don't like. Whereas like your 0.5s are movies that nobody defends.
Gotcha. But I submit it's because you never were watching those anyway.
Yeah, so let me look at the list of movies it's talking about. It's talking about Grown Ups 2. I never watched those. Identity Thief, I watched and didn't like. Four Christmases, didn't watch. Hangover Part 3, didn't watch. Good Luck Chuck, I have seen that. Ghost Rider, didn't watch. Catwoman, I've seen that. Sucker Punch, no. Battle Los Angeles, no.
So I'm saying I think I just watch more garbage or have watched more garbage.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Okay. Tim Burton is a big divergence between us. That's true. Average 1.86 for my 14 Tim Burton films. And you average 3.4 for your 15. It's interesting. You've only watched one more Tim Burton than me.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I've pretty much seen
which one?
A ton of Tim Burton. I wonder what that is. No, but I can ask it.
You watched Bright Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen Frankenweenie?
Yeah. Or maybe
have not.
maybe that's the one I haven't.
I have not seen that one. I haven't seen Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Abandoned Children or whatever.
I haven't
it's
either.
called. There's maybe one more. I think there's 3 Burtons I haven't seen yet.
Let's see. Have you seen Corpse Bride?
Yes. Also, that's not a Tim Burton movie.
Okay. Have you seen Sweeney Todd?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have not seen Sweeney Todd.
You should see Sweeney Todd, man.
No.
That's like good.
James, you're crazy. You've
What do you mean I'm
nothing.
crazy?
You've learned nothing.
I've learned everything. That's like the one Tim Burton movie you'll like.
No, it's not.
It is.
James, if there's
I'm
one
telling
thing,
you.
no, if there's, it's crazy. If there's one thing you can count on, is I will not. If it's Tim Burton, I am very likely to not like it. It would,
But
be
some of them you
shocking.
do. But some of them you do. And
Which Tim
Sweeney
Burton,
Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, will be the one.
What Tim Burton movie do I like, James?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No, I don't like that movie.
You don't like Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No,
Podcast over. We're out of here. See ya.
Tim Burton's average is 1.8 stars for me, James.
You don't like any Tim Burton movies. That's what you're telling me?
The one I probably like the most is Edward Scissorhands.
You
and I
don't
don't
like
like that movie.
Beetlejuice?
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Well, this is the problem.
No, I've seen half of Beetlejuice and I turned it off.
What are we doing here?
What do you mean?
You watched half of a movie and you've decided you hated it already?
No, it was on a plane. I couldn't finish it. We landed.
okay.
I just never bothered
Well,
to
you
watch
could
the
have
rest of it.
finished it. Yeah.
No, I mean, well, it shut off the screen on the seat.
I'm just saying, it's not like it's been inaccessible since you got
Oh,
off
yeah.
the plane.
No, I agree. But I have been
Um,
rushing out because I did not enjoy the first half, so I haven't been rushing out to finish it.
Well, you should absolutely finish Beetlejuice. That's a crime against humanity that you haven't. And also, you should watch Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
I've seen the Office episode about it. That's pretty much the same thing, right?
It'll make the Office episode even better. That's why you should do it.
Gotcha. I just don't know if I'm interested in a demon barber.
It's
Directed
the
by-
play. Demon is
play?
not literal.
Directed by my least favorite director in the whole world.
He's not your least favorite director. He's your
not?
least favorite high profile director. I'm sure you can find
No.
a director you hate more.
Not one that's had that many movies.
Well, right, because he's high profile.
What if I
Look,
Yeah.
when I look at his filmography too, there's a bunch in there I don't like. There's a reason I never talk about Alice in Wonderland and a bunch of these other things. His Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, they suck. I agree. But there's like a good 5 or 6 here that are definitely worth something for sure. And you should try all of those. And the rest of them you can skip. But those 5 or 6 were
what are the 5 or
tried.
6?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
I've seen it.
Beetlejuice,
Seen half of it.
Edward Scissorhands,
Seen it.
Big Fish.
Did not like Big Fish. Oh my goodness.
Well, Big Fish was Oscar nominated, so you're wrong. I'm just saying, I'm not the only one that likes Big Fish. Clearly,
No.
people like Big Fish.
James, most people like Tim Burton. I totally get it. It's just I'm very likely to not like Tim Burton.
That's fine. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and Miss Peregrine's Home for Children, or something. I don't know what the 6th one is, but I'm sure there is one.
Your version of Tim Burton.
Mars
is-
Attacks.
Your version. I did not like the movie. Your version of Tim Burton is Dennis Dugan. Do you know who that is?
I recognize the name, but who is that? Like, what's the movies?
He directed You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, yeah.
Grown Ups 2.
Okay. Adam Sandler movies. Gotcha.
I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
Mm-hmm. Happy Madison movies, basically.
Sure. And guess what? He's got a new movie coming out, James. I think you'll love it.
What is it?
The same stuff he does in all his other movies.
Adam Sandler related?
Yeah.
What is it?
Jack and Jill. No, I'm just saying, James, like you've probably seen enough of his movies to know what if you enjoy his movies or not.
Sure. Did he direct Happy Gilmore too?
I don't know.
Isn't it crazy that Happy Gilmore 2 happened and it's like nothing? Like
I didn't see it.
Literally nothing happened. Happy Gilmore was like
the biggest thing.
One of the movies when I was the age that came out.
It was huge.
It was everywhere. People quoting it. Bob Barker. It was just it was like it was as if funny movies never existed before Happy Gilmore for some reason for some people. And then 30 years later they make a sequel direct to Netflix. Not a peep from anybody.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, James, you really like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, no crap. Who doesn't? Other than everybody with without male genitalia.
Yeah, he has an average of 4.0 across 12 films with 3 5-star films.
Yeah, Dunkirk just dragging down the average.
Okay, so it says a major difference between you and me. Mm-hmm. I love movies because they make me feel something, and you love movies because they're great.
I mean, that's not the only thing we like about movies.
It's a pithy summary statement. Yeah.
But it's not entirely wrong, I would say. Would you agree?
You're sure. Okay. Your 5-star movies are dominated by one overriding quality. Do you know what that is?
Science fiction.
Intensity.
Okay. I do like I mean, that's the difference. Like Marriage Story. We were talking about this last week on for Sentimental Value. Marriage Story, Sentimental Value, just movies about relationships where people are talking the vast majority of the movie.
Yeah.
In Marriage Story, it comes to a peak. There's at least one scene where people are exploding on each other and like somebody loses it for a second. In Sentimental Value, it's probably due to where it was made and their, whatever, their culture. There's nothing like that in Sentimental Value. And so it just kind of feels like the movie stays one level the entire thing and there's no peak to it. So maybe that's where the intensity comes in.
They say you don't have a favorite genre, you have a favorite gear, and that's fifth gear.
This is ChatGPT, isn't it?
No, it's not.
This is Claude?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mine does not talk, I don't know, as cloudy as that is.
Well, I'm asking it to have takes. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
You really like horror movies.
To the tune of like 10%.
No, more than that, 15%. But yeah. I think
fine, 15. Yeah. That's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, this is so funny. Okay,
can you imagine thinking a dude in his 48th year on the planet likes 15% of his movies to be horror movies, and that's crazy? 15% is nothing. Look, ask it how many movies are released in theaters that are horror movies.
Right, but are those instantly 5 out of 5 movies? These are your 5-star movies, right? So I don't think,
because I only watch the good horror movies.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of people, their 5-star movies are not that high percentage of horror movies, right? Horror movies are usually considered disposable, dispendable, like consumables. You know what I mean?
I don't even like horror movies. That's why the only ones I have are like good ones.
Sure.
Because I don't watch all the bad. I haven't seen Scream since like Scream 3 or 4 maybe. They're up to 8. I heard the most recent one's pretty good. I might watch it. I'm just saying.
It says your least favorite movies are more boringly bad than mine.
Boringly bad. My least favorite are more, so they can see why mine are more bad.
Yes, yours are conventionally boring, bad movies that no one likes.
Okay, I'm fair. That's totally fair. I accept that and embrace it.
Let's see. You loved Ghostbusters.
I did love Ghostbusters. Yes.
I'm trying to
what
tease
an
out,
insight.
I'm trying to tease out some of the thing. It's comparing. I wanted to compare us less because that's less interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you love animation that pushes the form. It says.
Okay. Sure.
You're not so much into the Disney Renaissance nostalgia. But you like movies that push like the limits of animation. So like Coraline or Fantastic Mr. Fox or the Spider-Verse movies.
So wait, it's saying that I didn't like Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and like that's what I think of when I think of Disney Renaissance.
Yeah, it's saying
Aladdin.
Yeah, it's saying you're colder on those and more into like those other movies I mentioned.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I need to look at my Letterboxd ranking.
What do you think your rating for Aladdin is?
4 stars?
3 stars. What about Little Mermaid?
4 stars?
3 stars.
See, these are a part of the group that I ranked when I got my Letterboxd account.
Sure.
So maybe my scale has shifted between the mass import in 2013 or whenever that. It was probably pre-2013 because we started this in 2014 and I had that Letterboxd like good 4 or 5 years before that. When was Letterboxd started?
I don't know.
2009? 8?
It's been a while.
Did you hear they got bought?
By who?
Nobody good.
Oh, you have a very specific comedy taste.
2011 was when Letterboxd existed. It's majority owned by Canadian investment company. By a Canadian investment company since 2023. And from what I understand, this is by investment company. They're talking about what do they call those companies where they buy companies, make them more efficient, and then sell them off or let them go bankrupt? It's one of those investment companies.
Okay.
I forget what the term for that is, but anyway, what did you just say? Something about my comedic taste?
Yeah, it says you have a very specific comedic taste, and it gives it a word. Any guess what that word is?
Childish?
Absurdism.
Absurdism.
Yeah. Your 5-star comedies are all either genuinely surreal or treat an absurd premise with a completely straight face.
Okay. Right, because for a movie to be 5 stars, it's got to be like Birdman. You know what I mean? Like there's probably an artistic element to it.
Yeah. You don't like movies that can constantly wink at the audience. You like them that commit to the bit, no matter how insane it gets. Like Being John Malkovich.
Yeah, the great comedy first, Being John Malkovich.
That's your
no. It's like 4 funny moments in Being John Malkovich.
Sure.
I would not call that a comedy.
Well, it's got 3 Amigos, Wayne's World, Sorry to Bother, like lots of different things.
Sure. Those are all slapstick, though. They are not highbrow.
No, they're not. They're again, it's saying absurdism.
I guess
is how it's defining you.
When I think of those movies, I do not think of their absurdism first.
How would you describe the comedy? As like very grounded?
No, but like any other comedy, like mass market comedy.
Gotcha. I think there's.
I guess they are absurd, but
yeah, they're
zanier compared to what?
Like I don't know what your other how you feel about other comedies, but like Black Sheep, it's zanier than Black Sheep. Like 3 Amigos is zanier than Black Sheep.
Black Sheep, the Chris Farley movie?
Yeah. You said name another comedy.
Black Sheep. Well, first of all, I'd have to remember Black Sheep to be able to tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of Tommy Boy-ish, right? But not as good, essentially. That's what I remember about Black Sheep. Not as good as Tommy Boy.
Sure.
I mean, I guess to me, those live in the same bucket though. Compared to like Spaceballs, that's a straight up spoof. To me, that's zany. I wouldn't call Black Sheep or Tommy Boy or what was the other one? Wayne's World zany? Maybe Wayne's World's a little more zany than Black Sheep.
Yeah, it's pretty zany. Okay, what about this? You're a Ryan Gosling evangelist.
Probably. It probably just knows that I've watched La La Land like 7 times and rated it 5 stars every time. And
Plus, you really like The Notebook and Blade Runner 2049.
100%. Yeah.
You also loved Blue Valentine, Place Beyond the Pines, Only God Forgives, The Nice Guys, First Man, Barbie.
100%. I like all those movies.
You've rated his movies higher than almost any other actor's filmography.
Nice. What would it have it name movies I haven't seen by him?
By Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, because that's probably why. I just don't watch the ones that are not good.
That's going against your thesis that you do watch movies that are not good to balance out your good movies.
No, I say I try to do that.
Gotcha.
Or I did in the past, and then over time I realized, oh, if I already have a feeling it's not going to be good. Yeah, I mean, the movies that I haven't watched of his are known to be not great.
Out of approximately 45 A24 films that you've seen.
Yeah.
How many did you give below a 3?
I wouldn't say many. So
None.
if I had to give a number, none?
None.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me. How many A24 movies have I seen? 54?
It says roughly 45.
45.
This isn't a guy who happened to like some A24 movies. This is a guy whose taste is A24's taste.
No. This is a guy that does not watch certain A24 movies on purpose.
Sure.
Because I know they're not for me.
Do you like movies that are formally ambitious, tonally unsettling, and emotionally complex?
Who doesn't like that?
A lot of people.
Come on. Those are all positive qualities
to you
for good movies. For generally received good movies, those are all positive qualities for the most part.
Here's the thing. I don't like movies that are tonally unsettling. But
I bet there's a couple that you do.
Sure, but in general, if you're talking in generalities, you do.
I think you don't enjoy the feeling, even though you think they're good movies. And so even if they're good movies like Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, you won't watch them, even though they do have all those good qualities.
Well, just because I don't tend to like tonally unsettling. I do like formally ambitious. But some people don't like that.
I think you do like tonally unsettling. You just don't like the idea of knowing it's going to be tonally unsettling and then sitting down to watch something tonally unsettling. Like when you do get to watch a movie, which is more and more rare as life has gone on, you don't watch the stuff that you're probably not going to enjoy, right? That make you feel bad.
Let me ask you this. You feel confident about this. What is your evidence? What makes you think that I enjoy tonally unsettling movies?
Because I can point to good movies that are tonally unsettling that you like.
Like what?
I don't know. Let me ask Claude.
No. You have this in your mind. So where is this based on? Claude won't tell you right now. What's your evidence for it? Where did you get this from? Because I tend to like
The Zone of Interest.
I haven't seen The Zone of Interest.
Okay, how about his
That's your evidence?
His other one with the alien played by what's her name from Bend It Like Beckham. No, she wasn't in that. From
I famously didn't like Arrival.
I'm not talking about Arrival.
Okay.
The skin under the skin.
Oh, the weird alien thing.
Mm-hmm. You like?
I didn't love that movie, James.
I think you liked it. Maybe not loved, but you liked it.
Probably gave it 3 stars.
What about It Follows? It's tonally unsettling. You did like that?
I did like that, yeah. for sure. Would you say that's
So
the
you
normal-
can like a tonally unsettling movie?
It's not about if I can. It's like in generalities, is that what I like?
You haven't seen that many of them, so I couldn't tell you.
But you would say I've seen enough to feel like, yes, that is my preference. I just avoid them.
I'm not saying it's your preference. I'm saying that I think most people would like good movies that are tonally unsettling.
What's really funny, so all of this is doing is spitting back out like what it's just it's a horoscope, right? Like it's describing you and these things
Sure.
that like it knows you'll approve of, right? And you're hearing them and you're like, yeah, these are so obvious that anyone would agree with these. And the reality is like, no, you specifically would agree with these. And they're so like tied into what you would agree at that like it seems so obvious that everyone would agree with. But like it's really just because it's telling you exactly what you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like you. Whereas like other people, not the same thing.
No, I think if a movie was legitimately good, it would not matter if it's tonally unsettling when it comes to you.
James, that is true. That is true, but that can be true at the same time that like in general, like someone prefers movies that are tonally unsettling and someone prefers movies that are not. You know what I mean? Like they can still like one of either.
Sure. Yes.
But like where are they on the spectrum?
You like good movies that are tonally unsettling.
In general, I like good movies that are not tonally unsettling.
Right, but you also like the ones that are.
Right. But you wouldn't describe, like if you're describing my movie taste, you wouldn't say like, here's the 3 things that describe him. He likes movies that are tonally unsettling. He likes blah, 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 and blah, blah, right? Like that would be the worst way to describe the movies that I like.
I wouldn't say those would be the top 3 things that I would say about your movie taste. I agree with that.
There's more movies
also,
that I
wouldn't say that my top 3 things when I think about why I like movies is because I never go into movies thinking I can't wait for this to be tonally unsettling. You know what I mean?
No,
it's just not something anybody thinks about.
It's not specifically, right? Like you've never probably ever thought in those terms, but you can see how there are you have a lot more movies that you love that would fit that description than I do. And you claim it's because you seek those movies out and I avoid them. But like we've seen a lot of the same movies, right? Like a lot of the movies that you give 5 stars, I've seen. There aren't too many movies you've given 5 stars that I haven't seen at all. Right? I just don't like them as much as you.
Possibly. That's possible. I don't know for sure, but it's possible.
Let's see what else we got. I think you gave the Avengers 1 star twice, but I think maybe that's the other Avengers.
It's meant to be the other Avengers.
Yeah.
So this was Marvel's The Avengers I gave 1 star?
No, it's probably the other Avengers.
Oh, it's just the AI can't tell the difference between the 2 movies.
No, I mean it can. It's just it's talking about the other one.
Right, but is it confused that I gave it 1 star and a probably 5 star or
no, it says you gave it 2 1 stars. It's not confused. It's talking
I watched it twice and I gave it 1 star
both times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I gave it a second shot. Well, it was so bad, and then like many years passed, and I was like, I'm going to try this again. And it has a great cast in it. I thought maybe there was something there to be mined, but I was wrong. That was one of my 300 movie years.
Was it? Okay.
I'm sure.
Your Best Picture winners average rating is 4.24.
My Best Picture years?
Best Picture winners. So of all the Best Picture winners you've watched, the average rating is 4.24.
Okay. So I like movies that everybody else liked in the voting academy.
Yeah, or your score doesn't really mean liked. It means these are great movies. Right?
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
I like great movies is what I'm hearing.
Or just you appreciate great movies. Like you.
Sure.
Because your rating system isn't about if you like it or not, right?
Sometimes it is. Not always, though. It moves
you know
around. Sometimes my ratings based on the director's filmography.
Sure.
You know
Do
what
you
I
know
mean?
your lowest Best Picture winner film is?
My lowest Bex, like from a star perspective?
Yeah.
Maybe a 2?
No, I mean what movie?
Oh. Shakespeare in Love?
Crash.
Crash. Crash is
Do you
kind of
not like
cheesy.
Crash?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I don't think it's as good. I mean, it's certainly not a Best Picture winner. That was a light year, the year it won. That's for sure.
Okay, get this. You are much less likely to like a movie if you watch it on Friday than Wednesday. Your average Friday
This makes sense.
watch is a 2.8, and your average Wednesday watch is a 3.4.
And this is why. Because if you're watching a movie on Friday, it's more likely a new release.
Yeah.
And if I'm watching a movie Wednesday, it's more likely a catalog movie.
Sure.
And I'm gonna roll the dice on a new release over a catalog movie most of the time. It's like what we've talked about for years, Rotten Tomatoes bias for older movies. Like the only people watching them and reviewing them are people who are apt to like it anyway.
Yeah.
That's why you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes ratings on movies that came out pre Rotten Tomatoes or documentaries.
Yeah. That's all it has. That's all we got.
That's it.
That's it.
If you were to do this with Kyle, do you think he'd push back as much as I did? Or do you think he'd just accept everything?
He would absolutely accept everything. For sure.
Honestly, there's nothing you said, even after all that, there's nothing you said that I don't actually accept, like in the end. You know what I mean? Like it's all not that far off that I wouldn't be like, yeah, it's getting the gist. I can explain some of the weird quirks in the data, but for the overall, it, pretty much probably nailed me. I still don't think 15% is as far as my horror movie enjoyment, is a lot for somebody my age and my gender.
Well, here's the thing here's what it did accurately. Like the cold hard numbers, right? About how many of your 5-star movies are horror movies, right? That's just a fact. Okay. So that's the 15%. The 15% is the fact. Now, the question is, was it right to then assume, based on 15% of 5-star movies are horror, is it then right to assume that you could be considered a horror fan more than your average person? And that's an opinion, and it got that opinion correct. So, like, the fact is a true thing.
Can you ask it to compare me to the average 48-year-old male? Do I like horror movies based on volume and rating more than your average 48-year-old male?
I can't, because I have my limit, but so I can't ask it any more things.
Gotcha.
But what I'm saying is, like, the fact is that you've seen that many movies. Okay, you've seen 15% of your top 5 are horror, but like it correctly, because I would say you are a horror fan. I know you said oddly in this conversation that you're not, but I would consider. You did absolutely say that.
I didn't say I don't like horror. I said I don't like it any more than your average person does.
You said I'm not even a horror fan. I don't know why you said that, but that is a sentence that came out of your mouth.
I did not mean to say it that plainly. It's clearly I like some horror movies. I don't like the Saw movies. I only watched one of them. There's lots of horror movies that I have no interest in. And I know people who like horror movies who walk around in the shirts, who decorate their entire house, who buy the VHSs sealed for way too much money. That's somebody who likes horror movies. They like the good ones, the bad ones. They like all of them. I am not that person.
That's true. That is true, James.
But if you're asking me if I like to the tune of 15% of all the movies I've ever seen, do I like 15% of them to be horror movies? I guess. but I don't
No,
think that
James,
makes me a horror
that's not an
movie.
opinion. That is a fact, right? Based on the movies you've given 5 stars, right? That
Sure.
just is the case. But as someone that knows your movie taste well, I would clock you as a horror fan. And so I agree with its assessment that you are a horror fan.
I disagree.
You don't consider yourself a horror fan?
I mean, I like some horror movies.
That's not my question. If I asked you the question, James, are you a horror fan? Would you say yes or no?
I would say no.
Really? You would say no, you're not a horror fan.
I mean, if it's a binary question, I would say no.
Because you're comparing yourself to the top 1%?
No, probably because I just know way more about what the breadth of horror means than what you do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are levels to this, and I am on a very normal level. Somebody who's a horror fan goes to horror conventions, gets horror tattoos. This is not me. I only like art-y horror movies or movies I saw as a kid.
What percentage of horror fans do those things?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Just roughly guess. What percentage of horror fans, people that are horror fans,
have a horror tattoo?
Sure.
15%.
Okay. So if 15% of people who are horror fans have a tattoo, that means 85%.
No, have a horror tattoo.
Have a horror tattoo. That means 85% of people that are horror fans don't have a horror tattoo. So the fact that you don't have a horror tattoo just means you're in the 85% of horror fans that don't have you shouldn't lump just the 15% as describing horror fans if 85% of them don't have a horror tattoo.
Sure. I know you don't have any credits, but I'm curious to know what percentage of my favorite movies would be considered sci-fi.
Oh, it's 16%. It said that somewhere else.
So it's more.
It's more. But I think less than maybe your average person's.
That probably makes sense too.
Yeah. But that is, James, I'm going to be investigating this further. The fact that you do not consider yourself a horror fan.
I like I said, I didn't mean, I probably said it cut and dry like that. And if you're going to give me a binary choice,
well, you just said it like in the binary choice. Yeah, you said it like a minute ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're going to make me with no caveats say yes or no, I am not a horror fan first. No. As far as I'm concerned.
I think what you're doing is you're adding.
I might have a weird perception of what I like and what I don't like. That's possible. But when I think of myself and my love for certain horror movies, that doesn't make me a horror fan. Because when I think of horror fans, I do not think of how much I like horror movies. I think of people who really love horror movies. That's James, not me.
Is it possible you're answering a different question? I think what you're answering is, are you a hardcore horror fan or are you a horror fan first and foremost? I think you're answering one of those questions.
Yeah, like I said, when I hear the word horror fan, that's what I think about, which is not what you're thinking about.
Well, it's not, I don't think it's even what you're thinking about because you said 85% of horror fans don't have the tattoos, don't go to the conventions. They're horror fans in your mind and mine.
Yeah.
They're just not the hardcore ones.
I mean, if you go to like the majority of horror movies, I think you're a horror fan on some level. You're maybe not a hardcore horror fan, but you're a horror fan. The last horror movie I saw was Primate. Before then, I couldn't even tell you. And maybe this is just me getting older too. Maybe I'm just feeling less and less like a horror fan every year. Because I probably saw way more like 20 years ago than I do today.
So, and it doesn't, it's just taking what you've seen.
Yeah. So maybe I feel less like a horror fan now than I did at one point. I don't know. It's an interesting question. I've never considered myself a horror fan. Maybe I am. And I
really, you've never considered yourself a horror fan?
Not in the way I think of when people say that. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a perception difference. Like a scale difference.
What genres do you consider yourself a fan of that you would answer yes to that binary?
I mean, if we're just talking about movies, genre movies that I enjoy,
But
I think I'm also having a hard time with them picking out horror specifically when there are other genres that I probably like more.
I'm just asking, what genres would you answer yes to
statistically.
if I said, "Are you a blank fan?" What would you answer yes to?
Like sci-fi, drama, crime.
So if I asked if you're a sci-fi fan, you would say yes.
Sure.
If you're a fan of crime, you would say yes.
Crime dramas, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. But not a horror fan. Because there are
again, if there were people out there getting tattoos from crime dramas or decorating their entire house around it or making it their entire existence, then the scale would be different.
Well, sci-fi, they do that, James.
Not as
to
in
the same
my
degree.
world as horror people do.
Really? You don't think sci-fi people go to as big extremes?
I think they do, not in the volume. And again, this is anecdotally.
Okay.
I just might
Who do
not
you
be
know?
in their
There's got to be one
circles.
guy you know that's like just way too into it.
The only person I've met personally who maybe was a little too into something guy. Remember
That was
that
horror.
we
That was
we
horror
interviewed?
though. That was
Not horror, but I mean, he was really into. He had like 5 or 6 tattoos.
Sure.
Like he for a bit, he seems to have moved on, but he for a bit, I would say, was his personality. Which are two things I like about as much as I like horror. And also, I'm not tattooing them on my body and making them my entire personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are definitely sci-fi people. There are Trekkies that go the full Monty, although I don't see too many Trekkies getting tattooed, but they do other weird things in their own weird ways. I'm sure they have tattoos too, but for some reason I combine horror with tattoos.
You do. I've never
more
thought about
more
that
than
before.
any other genre.
That's so interesting. I've never thought about that.
There are a lot of Star Wars fans that have a lot of tattoos too.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of there's tattoos of everything.
Yeah, but my algorithms serve more horror. If I had to say how many tattoos based on my anecdotal impression of what I see mostly online, is that a lot of horror tattoos, a lot of specifically Star Wars tattoos. Again, this might just be my algorithm.
I think it's feeding you what the internet thinks you like, which is horror and Star Wars.
Yeah, could be. I don't really like horror that much, though.
That's so interesting. I've always thought of you as
like a subsection
horror.
of it. I mean, what about? I like all the good horror movies, but I don't talk about the bad ones because they're bad. I don't even see most of them.
For sure, yeah. But I like half of the good horror movies. You know what I mean?
Well, like, what's a horror movie that I like that you don't like?
I don't know. What are horror movies you like?
All the ones you like.
And no more?
I mean, I'd have to pull up all my horror movies and start running them down, asking you if you've seen them. Well, let's just do the first page.
Okay.
Films, genre, horror. This is, sort by my rating. Let's do that. Weapons. Just give me a yes or a no, or hate it, love it.
Middling.
The Substance.
Loved it.
Titane, you never saw.
Never saw it. It seems a little extreme, James.
The Shining.
Love it.
The Lighthouse.
Did not like it.
Blair Witch Project.
Whatever. I don't know. I saw it 2 years ago.
Mother.
Yeah, that was good. I wouldn't consider it horror necessarily, but
Let the Right One In.
It was fine.
It Follows.
It was good.
The Birds.
It's good. That's not that. That's really horror, James. Get a tattoo of that.
The Birds is a horror movie.
No, I know. But
before they were real extreme, but
the horror fans are not talking about the birds.
they're not. I would agree, but I mean, this is what the Claude took into account is my love for the birds. Evidently, I'm a horror fan all of a sudden because I love the birds.
James, I never knew you didn't consider yourself a horror fan.
Troll 2, the great horror movie, Troll 2.
So, are you a found footage fan? Would you consider yourself a found footage fan?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Okay. Jaws, a horror movie, for sure. Paranormal Activity, found footage. Coraline. Is Coraline a horror movie? Kind of, but not really. Triangle. What'd you think of Triangle?
I like it, but not nearly as much as you.
Aliens.
I'm okay with it. I don't love that movie.
Alien.
Same. My favorite is Alien 3.
Sure. It Ends, which you haven't seen.
Here, this is what it says about horror for you.
Okay.
He responds to dread, atmosphere, and visceral physical filmmaking in a way that's central to his identity as a viewer.
Okay. Sinners. You liked that.
Is that horror?
Come on, it's a vampire movie.
It wasn't that scary.
I agree. Most of the ones I'm reading are not that scary. Get Out.
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah.
Midsommar.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the types of horror movies I like. You won't find too many Jasons in here, or Freddy Cougars, or what are those movies that are recent? Amityville Horror, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even the old horror movies. Most of the Universal monster movies I've never seen. It's like a very specific type of horror. I'll give them that. I do like a very specific type of horror. It's called elevated horror.
Nice. So not like the just pablum horror that's churned out because it'll make a buck.
In theory, I don't like that. There are some exceptions for sure.
Okay, so I said he's not a fan of horror. He's saying he's not a horror fan. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
This is what Claude responded with. It passed midnight, so I can ask it again. Not even a little bit true. The data says he's one of the most committed horror fans in his own data set. He has 16 5-star horror films, more than any other single
Can you
genre.
repeat that? The data says I'm a committed horror fan based on my data set?
The data says he's one of the most committed horror fans in his own data set.
But like, what I'm confused by is if they're going by like volume, that's the case for any movie genre. Because guaranteed I've seen more than most people.
Hold on, it continues. His horror average is probably around 3.9, which is nearly a full star above his 3.07 overall average. So of all the horror movies,
because I'm picky about them,
he rates horror more generously than he rates any other genre.
I don't like it, and that's why I am very picky about the ones I watch.
And it's not just mainstream horror. He goes deep into body horror and extreme cinema. Titane, 5 stars. The Substance, 5 stars. Suspiria, 4.5 stars. Possessor, 4 stars. Mandy, 4 stars. Bone Tomahawk, 4 stars. Martyrs, 3.5. Most casual viewers can't even finish some of these films.
I mean, that's true, but
tell him I said he's lying to himself.
Those are still...
That's what it says. Tell him I said he's lying to himself.
Ask him, would you consider the movies you just listed elevated horror? Ask them that. I bet it's going to say yes. Or it might have some other term for it, but it's not just that they're extreme. There are plenty of extreme movies that I have not watched because the only thing about them is that they are extreme.
Sure.
I'm not interested in that.
Yeah. No. I think you're defining it by its most extreme elements, right? You're defining a horror fan by the most extreme fans, horror movies by the most extreme horror movies, rather than like just it in general or by average. It says not really. That's too easy an explanation, and the data pokes holes in it pretty quickly. Yes, he loves some films typically labeled elevated horror like The Lighthouse, Midsommar, The Witch, Mother, Titane, The Substance. But sitting right alongside these are 5 stars like Paranormal Activity, The Blair Witch Project, and Alien. These are just straight horror films, no pretension involved. And the 4.5s are Tremors, Gremlins, Beetlejuice, Stakeland, and Pontypool. These are straight up genre creature features and B movies. Nobody calls Tremors elevated horror.
Well, that's just rude, calling Pontypool a B movie. Come on.
The pattern,
and Tremors is intentionally a B movie.
Pattern isn't prestige versus pulp. It's more that he loves horror when it commits fully to its mechanism, whatever that mechanism is. Paranormal Activity is maximally committed to its found footage, dread. Tremors is maximally committed to its monster movie premise. Lighthouse is maximally committed to its psychological unraveling. The label elevated is less important to him, whether the film actually scares him, unsettles him, or delivers a physical sensation.
Sensation?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm reacting to the it doesn't understand why I like these movies. It's making an assumption on why I like them.
Yeah.
But I don't agree that that's why
it says
them.
I don't think he I think
also
what
think
he
Blair
means,
Witch is elevated, and it doesn't think that.
It says what I think he means is he doesn't watch horror because it's horror. He just happens to respond to films that have
good
tension and physical unease, which is a pretty good description of what horror is. But the canonical respectable horror films are not ones that top his list.
So what are those movies that I've rated?
Exorcist, Halloween, Rosemary Baby, Psycho, those movies.
Old movies.
Or just the canonical horror movie lists.
Sure. I don't like Exorcist. I didn't see much in it other than satanic panic type stuff. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know. There's something about demons and possession that I generally, it's probably my religious background. I'm not going to seek them out.
Sure.
As often as some of the other ones. They don't do much for me. Ghost stories I'm fine with for the most part.
James, have we been doing this 15 years now?
No. 11.
When did we start? 14?
We started at the beginning of 2014.
So 12 years.
12 years, yeah.
I'm learning new things about you today.
I don't even like horror movies.
And yeah, you're not a horror fan.
I had
no idea.
It's not that I clearly like some horror movies, but I don't like most of them. And I would not, if somebody asked me what my favorite genre of movies is, horror would not be the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
Well, it doesn't have to be a horror fan.
I guess. In that case, I'm also a fan of kids movies because I liked a few of them at some point.
You could be a kid. You could be an animation fan.
Sure.
And it doesn't have to be your favorite genre.
Yeah, but evidently my whole personality, according to Claude, is determined by the 15% I rated highly of horror movies.
Well, you do like...
I should just get the tattoo right now. The old Jason tattoo across my chest, nipple to nipple.
You might have it. I don't know. The shirt's on, so there's no way to know for sure.
If I got a giant Jason tattoo across my chest, do you think I could hide that for very long?
I would love it if this whole time I didn't know.
It's not a chance.
It would be unsettling.
I could keep that quiet.
It would be totally unsettling for me if you had that.
It would be, I think it would be totally unsettling if I had any tattoo and kept it from you for this long.
If you had a tattoo and I didn't know about it, I would.
You'd be like, why. What else is James hiding from me? Yeah.
James,
for the record, I have 0 tattoos.
James, would you feel confident enough if I have or don't have tattoos to bet money on it? So you would be able to pick.
I'm guessing whether you have tattoos.
Yes. Do you feel confident enough about it that you would actually bet money? You get to pick which you think
tattoos,
it is.
Plural?
A tattoo, we'll say.
A tattoo.
At least one.
That I would put money on it. I would put some money on it. Yes.
So you feel confident enough in your answer, whatever that would be, that you would put some money on it.
Some money. I wouldn't bet the house on it.
Okay, so you're not like ultimately confident.
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's impossible for you to have secretly gotten a tattoo.
Oh,
I don't
so you
think, I don't think you have a tattoo.
The thing you would put money on is that I don't have a tattoo.
Yes, that's what I would bet.
That's interesting.
You don't have a tattoo, so it's not that interesting.
Of course not. Of course not.
It's not that interesting.
Why would I get a tattoo?
I mean, I know for a fact that at one point you didn't have a tattoo, unless you were lying to me.
Why would I lie about a tattoo?
Exactly, and it would have been very out of character for one, for you to have a tattoo, and two, for you to lie about having a tattoo. And so, unless that's changed since the last time we've had a tattoo conversation,
no,
that's why I would be comfortable betting some money on it. I think if somebody was to ask me and press me to bet my house on it, I would start second guessing why they want me to bet even more.
Why are they so eager to up the ante?
Right. That's probably more the issue than the idea that, you would magically decide to get a tattoo tomorrow. Which if you did, that'd be fine, by the way. I don't care.
Yeah, of course.
But
can you imagine if you did?
It would be a surprise.
Can you imagine I got a tattoo and you're like, I want to be less friends with you?
Yeah. I mean, if you got like a swastika, that would definitely be a conversation we'd have to have. I might want to be less friends with you if you have something like that.
It is. Also, you say that word interestingly.
A swastika?
Yeah. You add a whole like schwa to it.
You think it's swastika?
I just say, it's just swa. Isn't it?
Am I saying it wrong?
Well, I don't know.
Is there two ways to say it?
I'm not the expert. I have no idea. But
let's get
it stood out to me that you said
person.
schwa and not swa.
Pronunciation of swastika. You probably won't be able to hear this because Zoom's going to get rid of it. But let's see. There's definitely no H in what they just said. Did you hear that?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it. But so it's swa.
Yeah. I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
I've saved you from such embarrassment in very specific settings.
I know, for sure. Well, I say that almost every day, all day. So,
all right. On that
where
note,
did I get swastika?
I don't know.
Charles Swastika. All right,
my voice is going, so we got to end this. But this was fun.
definitely got to end this. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for supporting as always, and we'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.